This is Anubhav Shrivastav. So did B.Tech from Bhagalpur College of Engineering, and the branch was the computer science and engineering. From that time, I have been into the IT from 13 long years. Only academic and the people with a little lesser good academic but high in the extracurricular activity. If I have to opt one of them, I will go for the person with the extracurricular activity. Confidence is the key. If you are confident enough, you can land into any job anywhere.
Hello everyone. So I am Ashish, second year student of Computer Science and Engineering Department. And before we start, let me introduce you to the indispensable part of our college, the Campus TV and Radio Club, which is initiated by AICTE 360 Feedback Program. Our motto is Discover, Develop and Dominate with the tagline, Join us and unleash your potential. Founded by Mr. Kumar Gaurav sir, 2K19 batch. This club is working hard day and night to elevate the standard of BC Bhagalpur in every aspect, whether in terms of academics, curricular activities, or placements. Today, we are here to add one more milestone in our journey with the one and only Anubhav Shrivastav sir.
I am Khushi from Computer Science and Engineering branch. It is my pleasure to introduce to you to our esteemed guest for today's webinar, Mr. Anubhav Shrivastav. Anubhav sir is an alumnus of prestigious BC Bhagalpur and he is currently working as a senior tech lead in PwC. His achievements serve as an inspiration to many and his expertise is of great value for us. Today, Anubhav sir will be sharing his insights and experiences with us and we are truly privileged to have this opportunity to learn from him. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Anubhav Srivastav sir.
In this session, I am with my batchmates, Mr. Apar Swaroop, Srishi Soumya, Khushi, Arpita Swaraj, Sakshi, and Ansika Priya. So let's come to the first question.
Thanks a lot for such a nice intro, and welcome to you all.
Just for starters, I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself. Uh, tell us about your name, branch, and the current position you're working on. Um,
Yeah,
just a brief intro about yourself.
this is Anubhav Srivastav. So I uh, did BTech from Bhagalpur College of Engineering. As you all know, like it's one of the best engineering colleges in Bihar, and the branch was the computer science and engineering. So, and it was the year 2010 when I passed out, and from that time I have been into the IT from 13 long years, and still working in the IT with the same enthusiasm what I had in 2010, and continuing with the same for fully for a few more years.
Sir, the second question is I think your session was 2006 to 2010.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. Back in that times, like engineering meant civil, mechanical, and electrical, but you choose computer science. Was it your dream to? Was it your passion in the computer world? It was by luck or by chance?
Actually, you're partially right, Kushi. There was an era of electrical, mechanical, and civil, but that was like only in the case of Bihar. But when you see the entire picture, the world, the entire India and the world outside, it was not the case like that. So at that time also, there was a trend to get into the computer science, not in Bihar, but outside Bihar, all the engineering colleges where the computer science was used to be the first branch to be filled up. And that was in my mind when I went to the counseling for opting out the colleges and the branches. So I had many options. I had an options of electrical, electronics, civil, everything. But I opted for computer science because I wanted to go with the trend, and it was easier to get into the IT from the computer science branch rather than a different branch. Even though in the other colleges where the campus placements and all were very nice, so people from the other branches were also used to get into the IT. So the things in my mind was like, if you have to reach to the IT only, then why should go via different path? Why should take mechanical, learn mechanical for 4 years, and then get into the IT. That was a kind of wastage of one seat for the mechanical aspirants. So this was the reason why I chose computer science so that I can land into the IT job.
Sir, was engineering your dream, or like everybody has dreamed to become police officer, IS officer, doctor? So was engineering your dream from childhood?
Not really. It was not from childhood, but as soon as I grown up and when I reached to the class fifth, sixth, and seventh, so one subject, if someone would have asked me at that time, or even now also, if like I have to select one subject in my life, that was math. So we have a limited options at that time. If you have to opt math, definitely you have to opt science. So physics and chemistry comes as in complementary. So I had a passion to learn math. So I get into the science streams and I got PCM, physics, chemistry, and math. Then only engineering was an option at that particular time. So I actually belong to a very small city. My class 10th and schoolings and all were from government schools and very small cities. So there were no such options at that time. Only people used to think about medical and engineering. So there was no CA, no law. In current eras, we have so many options to opt for, right? So, but at that time, it was like either you have to go for medical or go for engineering. So, if you have to go for medical, learn biology. If you have to go for engineering, learn math. And maths was my passion from my childhood. So, in that manner, you can say yes, I have a dream to get into the engineering.
Sir,
Right,
where you
Samastipur?
were a hostler or day scholar?
No, I belong to a city called Samastipur, and you know the geography of BCE Bhagalpur. So I think for first year and second year, I was staying outside due to some health issues. But from third year and final year, I was staying in the hostel.
Do you still remember your hostel days?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the memories no one in this world can forget at any moment of time. Even if I'll be on my deathbed, then also if someone would have asked one thing to memorize, I will take the name of BCE Bhagalpur.
So we would like to know what extracurricular activities did you took part in the college? Like what clubs you joined and what kind of extracurricular things you did in your college apart from your academics?
Actually, I was at that particular point in time was not very much enthusiastic to get into all these extracurricular activity, which is one of the most important things in today's era. But yeah, I used to be like in some games and all, which was not like on the college level or something. Playing games and being a part of training and placement for some time. That was the only thing which I did in the college apart from academics.
So how do you feel these extracurricular activities affect someone as a person? Like here, you did all the thing. You are in the IT sector from 13 years. So what is your experience based upon this? Like a person who is involved in some very extracurricular activities and academics also, and a person is who is only involved in academics and leaving all the extra things behind.
Yeah, it's a very nice question actually. It makes a huge difference. It's not just 1% or 2% of difference. It makes a huge difference. If you have been into the extracurricular activities, you will have lot of confidence. And as I keep on telling to the many people, like if you have to grow in your career, you have to be confident enough. And the confidence comes only with the knowledge. Confidence comes only uh, with this kind of activities where you interact with the new people, some unknown people. Like everyone build a comfort zone, right? So when you are talking to your friends, you are very much comfortable. So you will not have that much of places to talking to your friend. But when you all of a sudden when you talk to the thousands of new people, unknown faces, you will feel nervousness at that time. So this extracurricular activities make you confident whenever you'll get into the IT jobs or whichever the job or wherever you land in this world. The confidence will be on the very highest stage if you have participated in like singing, dancing, mimicry, or any kind of extracurricular activity. This makes you a lot of this will give you a lot of confidence, and it makes a huge difference. A people with only academic and a people with a little lesser good academic but high in the extracurricular activity, if I have to opt one of them, I will go for the person with the extracurricular activity.
I would like to know from you what are the experience at BC Bhagalpur and how it helps in your career path.
The time when I joined BCE Bhagalpur, we did not have that much of facilities with respect to computer science. As one of you asked earlier, like at that time we have an era of civil, electrical, and mechanical in Bihar. So yeah, we did not have that much of a facility like we do have right now. Even the college is giving us a lot of facilities of the internet and all, and even we can have our own internet. But at that time, it was a kind of challenge to get internet, and that was the one thing which was a challenging. And to overcome that, we have to get into a lot of books, and if we need internet, we have to go out, or maybe in training and placement cell we had an internet, free internet. So this was a challenge I faced in the colleges at my time. But the day passed on, like the people learn even in the Bihar, people learn about what computer science stands in front of all other branches. I think the things are getting smoother for everyone.
Hello, sir. Really
Yes.
curious to know how did you get your first job?
It's again a good question. Like, when we see someone's profile on the LinkedIn or Facebook, so it gives you some kind of feelings like that a person has never been struggled for anything. Everyone except me in this world has got everything very smoothly, because you know yourself, and for others you see just their profiles on Facebook and LinkedIn. So people usually show the success on their social media, but no one talks about failures. So it's a very nice question. Like landing into first job was not very much easy for me. As I told, I belong to a very small city where we did not have a culture of English medium schools and all. So I had a language problem. Then coming from the college like BCE Bhagalpur, which is really a very nice college, but we have a disadvantage of our geography, right? So Bhagalpur is not connected with airports and all. So companies were not landing to the Bhagalpur directly at that time. So I had to move to the Bangalore, the city of the IT capital of India, and I had attended few walk-ins and I got into the job, and I started my career with Wipro. It was a little challenging, no doubt. I won't say, I won't exaggerate anything. Yeah, it was a challenging because getting into a job from the college campus is much easier than getting into a job from walk-in. So we had to struggle. Many of my friends struggled together, but yeah, it was not a long struggle period. I got the job very soon. As soon as I reached to the Bangalore, within a month, I landed into Wipro, and that was my start of career.
So how did you reach PwC and what was the difficulties, struggle you faced from being a middle class family?
Yeah. So reaching to some organizations, like it is one of the big four. So definitely it's a dream company for anyone. Even for me as well, it was a dream one. But during my college period, as I told, like we have lack of internets and all at that period of time. We did not have Android phones. So it was very difficult to know the world outside. It's like know only the things which you can see with your bare eyes, not through internet and all. So at that point in time, it was like Wipro, Infosys, TCS used to be the very big companies for me. But when I landed into Bangalore, as it is known as the IT capital of India, there were many companies. So getting first job is little challenging, but switching over is not that much of challenge. Once you get into some technology aligned with your technology, then you will get a call. LinkedIn was like one of the most favorable platform for all working professionals. So this is what LinkedIn helped me to land into one of the big four.
What was your experience after getting your first job?
It was really awesome. It was really awesome because coming from like a lower middle class background or middle class background and getting into the company like Wipro. At that time also Wipro was one of the biggest MNCs, Indian MNCs. So and everything was new, like the culture was new. In the college we used to say sir to everyone, ma'am to everyone, but as soon as I landed into IT, We have a different culture to take the name of the people, even if the person is 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years senior to you. Doesn't matter. You have to take the name. So everything was new. So cafeteria was new. The building was new. So it was really a nice experience. It was an awesome experience.
Thank you, sir.
What was your motivation? Like, whom do you consider your role model?
Mm, yeah, everyone in this life has some role model, and we actually we are all the Indians, or even all the humans, not, I won't say Indians, like we see someone and then we decide our career path looking at them. So I used to see my cousins. He was from IIT. Even my own brother was from NIT Warangal. So that was the
That's
motivation for me to get into the engineering. Uh, and definitely, one of the passion was to get into the IT jobs. Once I understand what is IT, what is non-IT, maybe after 12th, when I started preparing for engineering, I got to know looking at my brother, cousin, and everyone. So that was the kind of motivation for me.
Sir, everyone has unique personality. So, sir, what's make you unique from others?
One thing, if I have to explain myself in one word, so that will be truthful and transparent, honest. Because till in my college days, or in last 13 years, even in the companies, organizations, I worked in the multiple organization. This is my fourth or fifth organization. So one thing I maintained is was the transparency. So truthful and transparency. So if you are talking to someone, do not hide anything. Be transparent. People should let know you what you are, and you should also know the people around you. So that, maybe I'm not sure that it is a unique behavior, but yeah, that is what I think it's a unique in me, in myself.
Thank you.
So, what is your job profile? What you actually do in company?
I'm a functional consultant. So this is also a kind of things like which I wanted to let everyone know, all my college juniors and others peoples also who is willing to get into the job. So when we used to be in a college, we only know that like development is the only things which we do in the IT, but that is not the case. We have so many profiles, we have so many technologies which we don't even know the name when we were in the college. So I'm not into development, but I'm working as a functional consultant. So functional consultant role is like for any functionality which where you do not know the core development, but you know the entire functionality, so that you can guide the people, guide the developer. Like this is the functionality which someone wants, or this is the functionality which I want. Take an example of Facebook. Like Facebook, someone would have developed at the back end, right? But someone must work as a functional consultant who would have told the developer like, I want this chat functionality, I want this like functionality, I want this something for functionality. So that is called functional consultant. So I worked as a functional consultant.
As there were no internet as in your time, and there were no such social media platforms were popular at that time, but were there any distractions that you feel at your time in your during your college?
It was not like that there was no social media and no internet. There was, but that was not as free as we have now. We used to have Orkut at that time. The way now we are using Facebook, I think we were using Orkut till Orkut died in, I believe, 2010 or 11 or 12, I believe. So it was very famous. In fact, the Orkut and Facebook started at the same time, but all of a sudden, Orkut got lot of customers and it becomes very much popular. Facebook could not have been popular at that time, but uh, everyone has a peak time, right? So Orkut was on peak in around 2006 to 7, 8, 9, and after that it dies in 2012. So we have Orkut at that time. So yeah, we were spending more time because the internet was slow. So distraction is always there, which we have to manage, like how much you get distracted from the thing. If you want to get distracted, even without internet, even if you remember the Nokia 1100 phone, I don't know whether you were in that era or not. We used to play a game of snakes, right? So
Yes,
snakes
sir.
was
Yes,
hitting
yes, we know
something.
that.
We used to, sir.
So that was also taking a lot of time. So it's not like that you have to play PUBG and then only you can waste your time. So if you want to distract your time by yourself, there are so many things you can do. And if you want to save your time for your career growth, even if these days, even if we have PUBG or something, a game like that, we can save our time for our study and our career growth.
A bit personal question. How do you like to spend your weekends? If you would like to give the answer.
So when I was in Bangalore, so I believe post COVID I did not return. I'm working from home. So I'm enjoying my family. So to be very frank, when you stay in the family, so every day is weekend. So every day you have to spend time with family and all. So there's no specific things which I do in Patna. But when I was in a Bangalore, yeah, we used to go the malls. We used to roam around, party, socializing, and all. And
So do you
when
love travel?
you feel like when you work hard for 5 days, then only you will feel happiness for weekend. So when we used to work for 5 days, so weekend used to be like a uh, motivator, or like it was helping us to be ready for work for another 5 days from Monday onward.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Do you love traveling?
Earlier, not really, but the people keep on changing, right? So mm, when I was in my college days, so I did not roam around. I was spending whole lot of time in college campus only. Somehow I used to go Khalifa Bagh Chowk and all, but the people used to go the nearby city like Mandar Hill or Baba Dham or something. So I never went there. So that time I was not liking, but from last 3 years when I started staying at home, so I feel like going out sometimes. So yeah, now I started loving traveling.
Taking you back in your college, I'd like to ask you that what is the most important thing you learned from the college? Like it could be in academics or it could be in a life experience, but a very close and very important thing you learned in your college and you'd like to pass it on to your juniors.
If I have to explain in one word, it's networking. So networking is one of the biggest uh, things in the life where you can get most benefit out of it. So this is what I learned in the college. So before going into getting into the college, I have two or three friends, hardly two or three friends. All school days friends, did not even remember them. So I was not a kind of person who was making friends and all. But as soon as I get into the BCE Bhagalpur, now I have lot number of friends, and now I have a zeal to meet them, or even uh, I usually wants to talk to people around. Like networking is one thing which I learned, and the benefit of networking is like people whom you do not know by face, do not know by name at certain point in time, but you become very much familiar just by one connecting word. Say, take an example of now. We are talking with each other. So few days back, I was not knowing any of you, neither you guys must be knowing me. But there was one connecting word, which is BCE Bhagalpur, and now we are so much familiar that I'm very glad to see you.
So is there any very specific academics lesson you want to pass on to your juniors?
I do not want to get into like how you study and all, especially in this session. I definitely will request you guys to schedule another sessions for that. But yeah, when you talk about academics, so yeah, there should be one or two papers in every year. Now you guys have semesters, so in every semester, pick up one two papers. Like when in my era, so I used to learn some programming languages, or networking was one of my favorite topics. Not the networking which I discussed now. We have computer networking also, right? So I don't know whether it is in third year or final year, but networking was one of the topic. And yeah, from academic point of view, we had a language called C. I think you guys are starting with C plus plus now. So in my time, it was Fortran and C. So I was liking C. Even in my interview periods in the Bangalore, so that time I learned Java, but I was more confident in C. So in all the programming interviews, I used to write C coding on this.
Sir, do you still code in C language?
Not really. I left coding after leaving the college. As I told, I get into the functional consultant role, so I left coding after that.
Sir,
But yeah,
actually,
I recently I started learning Python just out of my own interest. There was no requirement from my organization or my work. But yeah, it was a very nice language. It is a very nice language. So I started learning Python. So sometimes if I get time, I just write some codes in Python, not in C. See, I only remember has include stdio dot h. After that, I do not remember anything now.
sir, we had C language in our first semester,
That's great.
but sir, it is not
See,
used much nowadays.
not really. I do not agree much with this statement. C is still having the same essence what it had earlier. But yeah, you are partially correct. Like we now are tends towards like web developments and all. So yeah, we do not use C much there. But the core programming Windows and all, they still use C, I believe, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's the most strong language.
Right.
The success mean different to everyone. Sir, I would like to know from you, how do you define success?
Actually, you stole my sentence. Uh, that success is like it doesn't have any proper definition. So everyone has a different way of defining success. So for me, if I do not have to take much time, for me, the defining success is like how many people are influenced with you is a success for me. So wherever I am, I might be at a very good place, but I might not be at a very good place from some other person's perspective. So the company where I'm working might not be the best company in this world. So if you talk from the company perspective, I can feel myself as successful, you might not feel. Based on the salary perspective, I might get a very good salary, but it's not the best salary in the world, right? So we cannot define success in that way. So what's my way of defining success is how many people you can influence. No matters where are you, but if you have a younger siblings, if you have a juniors at colleges, or no matters whoever you are trying to influence, if one people is influenced with you and one people gets success because of your influence, then you are successful. So if I feel myself successful, if any one of the persons whom I have influenced in my entire life from my birth till now, then I'll feel myself as successful.
So, what major difference do you see in government and private sector?
Government and private sector, it's a matter of choice, right? So many people feel like government sector is still better than private sectors, and someone has a different opinion. So we cannot counter anyone's opinion. But in my views, is like whatever you feel like doing. Say you may get an opportunity in a government job. At the same time, you may get an opportunity to work in a uh, private sectors also. So it's you who has to define. Definitely, we have a kind of job security in a government job, which was one of the most most like the criteria which people considered most was the job security. But in the private also, it's not like that you will always be on job threat. So it depends how you take it. So in the government job, you have a different facilities. In private job, you have flexibility to move around. So if I'll take an example, like uh, as I told, like computer science was not a hot cake in my era in Bihar, at least, in especially in BCE Bhagalpur. So the branches itself started in 2002, and I did BTech in 2006. So at that time, I did not have that much of alumni, strong alumni for computer science, because the first batch left the college in 2006, and the trend for them at that time was to complete BTech and then complete MTech and then get into job. Very few people were getting job after doing the BTech one, right? So I did not have that much of flexibility to talk to the people how the private job is. So what was my mind is like I wanted a flexibility. So during the COVID period, most of my friends was in a government job. They were struggling to stay with their family, and I was happily staying with my family. So that was the difference I found, especially in the COVID era.
Okay,
So
sir.
there is again, I just want to conclude this because this is a very right question everyone would have when you are in the third year and final year. So just think, what do you want to do? So if you have a dream to work in a city like Bangalore, Hyderabad, if you have a dream to roam around the world like US, UK, wherever you want to go, then definitely private job has more flexibility, more opportunity in comparison to government job. But if you are a person who likes to uh, stay at home, or you do not want to roam around much, or if you are satisfied with uh, the work which you are doing, or maybe like you want more job security, then you can select government job. Earlier there used to be like government job people do not work and private job people do a lot of work, but that is not the case now. I can see the people in the government job, they are working like hell. So that is now not any criteria anymore. Like if you do not want to work, then land into the government job. We usually say it teaching our friends who is in a government job. Like one of my friend is in State Bank of India. So I usually teach him like that SBI people are only on the lunch, but that is not the case. When you get into the SBI bank and when you see the people working, like it's a hell. I feel like I work lesser than those people. So you have to decide which one is better. It's not someone else can tell you which one is better.
What is your most
Uh,
challenging engineering project that you have been involved past few years?
Yeah. You mean to say college project or my working project in last 13 years?
Your college or maybe your
Okay.
anything.
So college projects are not really that challenging at my time, at least, because as I told, like we were not using the advanced technology or new era technology. So whatever we got it from our seniors, we learned and did the project in the same thing. I think if I remember correctly, I did my college project in hospital management, which was done by a senior, I believe Ganesh sir from 2003 batch. So we took help from him and did the BTech. But this question is like I would like to give answers from my office perspective. So yeah, when I was in Accenture, I was working with one of the client in India, that was Vodafone India. So my role, as I told, my role was a functional consultant. So I had to explain functionality to the people across the India. So Vodafone is like across the India, right? It was pan India. So I had to talk the people from UP, from Bihar, from Tamil Nadu, from Karnataka. So I talked to so many people from a different languages, from a different persons. Even Bihar, we know Hindi, but still the people were not capable enough to talk to some people, not all. So make them understand the technology was very challenging. If I had to talk to the people in Tamil Nadu, they do not understand Hindi. They were not understanding English very well. So it was very challenging to talk to them. So from project perspective in my organization, so that was the most challenging at that time when I was in Accenture.
You told that one of your senior helped in your project. So how were seniors at your time? How was your bonding with them?
Bonding was awesome, and I won't say was. Bonding is awesome. If you trust me, yesterday only I was talking to my immediate senior, and the senior which I took name Ganesh sir, and we talked till around 2:30 a.m. in the night, and after that we had to say, "Sir, it's too late. I have to sleep." So the bonding was awesome. It is still going on. So I still talk to the my college seniors, and trust me, I talked to the seniors from 70 batch, 72 batch, and recently you must have heard about Saroj sir, the sad demise of
Yes.
Saroj sir. So it was very painful. So he was very enthusiastic person at that age. It was really awesome to talk to him. So I used to talk to all seniors,
Okay, sir.
and I do it now also.
So, what was the strength of students in your batch?
At my time, it was around 50. Female student ratio was very less. I believe it was, if I remember correctly, we had 45. guys and 5 girls. I'm only talking from the CSE perspective.
Sir, we are now 14 girls in CSE batch.
That's really great. And in the organizations also, we are now motivating the female resources to work on, because uh, I understand, and in fact, the most of the people now understand that it is little challenging for a girls to continue in the career, because they usually take care of their families also. I'm not saying that boys doesn't take care of their family, but yeah, it's little challenge more challenging. If I have to say, like, it is 49 and 51. So the companies these days are preferring female resources more. So there are so many drives going on which helps the girls candidate who left their job for taking care of their families, babies, and all. So people are now preferring female candidates for having breaks and all. So it's really great to see, like, we have a great strength of female students as well in the college.
Yes, sir.
It is often said that one has to work for long hours in corporate world. Then how do you balance your personal and professional life? There is
I would say, yeah, I got your question. So I would say it's not 100% correct. It is a partially correct. Uh, I won't take the entire corporate world, because yeah, there are certain sectors where there is no time bound of working. But if we talk about IT perspective, so it depends on the project what you're working on. Sometimes because we world across the globe, right? So there is no sunset. So say if I'm in India, it's a daytime I'm working here, but in the night it will be working time for the US people. So yeah, sometimes we have to extend for longer time. Sometimes we get the good cool off period as well. So it's completely depend on individuals how they manage. And now the work from home cultures are coming on, so it will be little easier. Earlier it was difficult to handle personal and professional life because of uh, longer working hours and travel time and all, especially in the city like Bangalore, where you have to travel for maybe 2 hours for 5 kilometers and 10 kilometers also during peak hours. So it is little challenging, but fortunately I was single at that time. So I'm still single. Um, Being a single, it is like little advantages. Like you do not have much pressure burden of your family, so you can manage somehow. But it doesn't mean that if you are married, you cannot manage it. So we have, like, it's a IT world, right? You have to carry your office on your back, so you can continue working from home for some time. Say if you have a meeting at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. in the night, you can come back to the home in the evening 6 p.m. Spend time with your kids, families, and then you can again log in and join the meetings and all. So you can manage. It's like not 100% unmanageable.
So, would you like to share one of your best memories of your childhood, which is very close to your heart?
Okay, childhood memories, like, yeah, in the childhood, we were not in the era of even if we talk about the TVs and all, so we were in the Doordarshan era. So for us, like, the Jungle Book was one of the things which we were waiting for an entire week to watch a Jungle Book. So that the Doordarshan era is one of the memorable things for me. I still like Doordarshan, though I do not get time to watch that. And it's a mobile and internet era, so we spend time on mobile and internet only. But Doordarshan was very close to my heart. Sometimes at the morning, you remember, I don't think you guys have remembered, but yeah, there was a music going on in the morning when the Doordarshan was opening up at around 5:35 a.m. or 6 a.m. So I was listening that also, and the Sunday was like most critical time. Like we used to have Jungle Books, and if I remember when I grew up, there was a serial called Chandrakanta.
Yes, sir.
It's a popular one.
Yeah, it was very popular at my time. So I I remember, I think one incident happened. So the former president Gyani Jail Singh died in between the Chandrakanta was playing. So Chandrakanta used to start from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Gyani Jail Singh died at 9:30 a.m. I still remember that day, and we were not. We as a kid were not mourning that our we lost our ex president. We were only thinking why we lost 30 minutes of Chandrakanta. Because that was the only thing like Doordarshan. As soon as some presidents and prime minister dies, so for the next 7 days there was nothing running except Sehnais and all. So we
Yes.
were most worrying about we lost 30 minutes of our serial. So that was kind of things which I still remember, and I love to get into that era. So I think Saktiman was also there at that time. My
Yes,
time
yes,
was
sir.
Saktiman.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And yeah, recently I watched Saktiman episodes, and then I thought, okay, what I was doing at that time, it was not that great, but for a kid, it's always good. So Doordarshan was one of the memorable things which I would like to share.
Sir, I want to ask, what advice would you like to give a current college students?
So mm, I think we are close to close the session. So one thing I want to tell you guys is like the confidence, especially you all are from CSE background, right?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so electronics also, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
it
sir.
doesn't matter. I simply
mechanical.
ask. It doesn't matter whether you are from mechanical, computer, electronics, civil, or whatever. Confidence is the key. If you are confident enough, you can land into any jobs, anywhere. You can talk to any person, even if you have to talk to the CEO. You will feel if you have a confidence, you can talk it very nicely. I just want to share one of my experience when I was in Wipro, and that time the CEO was TK Korean. So we had a open conversation with TK Korean. So the people were talking. I'm not telling that I was the one who talked with TK Korean, but most of the people who were talking with TK Korean was having experience of 10 years, 12 years, 15 years like that. Because talking to a CEO was a very like you need a lot of courage to talk to them. You need a lot of confidence. And I was the only one person just having 9 or 10 months of experience, and I talked to TK Korean. I put my concerns in front of him, and he listened that. So I'm not saying that I was very much confident. I was trembling at that time when I was talking to TK Korean, but there was something in my heart like, okay, TK Korean, though he is the CEO of the company, but he is still a human being.
Yes, sir.
He can still talk. The way I talk, he also talks. The way I walk, he also walks. So there's nothing different between TK Korean and myself. So that was one thing. I got a confidence. Somehow I got a confidence. I talked to him. So this is what I wanted to tell you all guys. Like you have to be confident. And how now next question should be like how to get confidence. It is not something you can go and buy it online. So you have
Yes,
to
yes.
earn it. You cannot buy it. You have to earn it. So there are many things from where you can get the confidence. Like your knowledge will give you confidence. Say, take an example. If you are very good at programming languages, you will be super confident in any interviews. Like, okay, ask me any questions. I'm here to answer you. But if you are not having that much of knowledge, then you will have little lack of confidence. Maybe you will think, okay, just ask me this question, then I can answer. God, please save me from say data structures and algorithm. So definitely, as soon as it will come into your mind, so even a simple questions, a hello world program also, you will start thinking whether I'm writing it correct or not. So if you have to earn confidence, you have to learn, you have to get knowledge, you have to talk to the people. Many people, especially I know, like even if mm, we are growing, we are into the internet era and all, but still many people are hesitating talking to the people, right? So you have to remove that hesitation. You have to remove. Still, I can see the people like who feel biasness talking to the opposite gender. So this will give you a lack of confidence because you cannot ensure like when you are going to write or give an interview, you cannot ensure that a lady will take your interview or a gentleman will take your interview, and same for the boys, right? So you have to be confident enough to talk to any people, any new faces. Even if you do not know me, you just know my name, talk to me like that you know me from very long time. So this will give you a confidence. And someone asked the questions on extracurricular activity. These extracurricular activities are very very important for your confidence. uh, in our parents and grandparents eras, people used to say that खेलोगे कूदोगे तो होगे खराब, पढ़ोगे लिखोगे तो बनोगे नवाब. So that time it was somehow true, because if you play whole of the day and you do not study, then you will not get into good job. But if you study hard, you will get into good job. But I do not agree with that statements in the current era. You have to study, at the same time you have to be active in the plates for your health as well. Is for your physical health as well as your mental health, and it will give you a lot of confidence. So extracurricular activities is must have. It's not should have. It's must have. Other thing
Sir,
I want to suggest you guys is to make friends. Make friends. Have a good networking. Friends doesn't mean that we are just going for a tea break and all. So definitely go for that. But makes friend means like you have to like go to the LinkedIn, search the people, see that who are doing what, learn about some random profile, not necessarily from the BCE Bhagalpur, but since we have a rich set of people at our own college, so we may not require to go to some random people. But yeah, select one profile randomly, go through that profile and see that how people grow from which company to which company they switch over, and try to learn something from them.
Thank you, sir. Now I'd like to wrap up things. Like it's been a pleasure being with you here today, and thank you for giving us your time. It's been an honor to be here with such an accomplished individual and to be able to present our perspective before you. Thank you, sir. With this, we
Thank,
have come to the end of the session. It was not just a session meant to be a normal session. Sir, you were so friendly, so interactive. You were so calm throughout the session. We got to know a lot about you and also the college, and you shared many insights with us. It was indeed a very inspiring, informative, and interesting session with you. You are the epitome of excellence, sir. Also, I'd like to thank all the wonderful people who spoke today and joined the session. And just like that, I sense a circle closing back to the beginning and near the end. At last, once again, I'd like to put my strong gratitude towards the one and only Abhinav Srivastav sir for putting light in our world with his valuable words. Thanks a lot, sir, for this
thanks,
insights.
thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot to all of you.
Thank you,
All the
sir.
best.
thank